Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I chat to various members of the Rooster Teeth community. My guest this week is Neal. Hey Neal, how's it going?
I'm doing just dandy.
Excellent. So let's start as I always do. Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter?
Uh, I would have to say Achievement Hunter.
Okay, is that because that's how you discovered the community, or is it that's what you discovered first, or
Uh,
did you discover like Red versus Blue first and then be like, oh, Achievement Hunter appeals more to you?
yeah, Achievement Hunter appeals more to me, just in the sense because ever since I was young, I always wanted to play video games as a living, and these guys do that. But I mean, it's more than just playing video games. They edit and they have to think of ideas, and they, you know, do a lot of work just besides playing video games. But and I mean, I find myself watching more. Well, I watch all the content, but I focus more on Achievement Hunter first, and then I'll move on to like RVB and the rest of the content that Rooster Teeth produces. But yeah, and I can just relate with a lot of the guys from Achievement Hunter, like Ray and Michael and the rest of them. So yeah, I just feels more to me in that sense.
Okay, cool. So how did you discover like Rooster Teeth slash Achievement Hunter?
How did I? Okay, well, if I remember correctly, it was back in 2007. I was searching up like funny Halo videos one day because I was bored, and I stumbled upon the first episode ever for season 1 of Red vs. Blue.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I watched it, and at the end, I'm like, what have I been doing with my life? Why have I not seen this before? So I started watching Red vs. Blue, not knowing what Rooster Teeth was. I was just watching it purely on YouTube. I got up to the point of season 5, the beginning of season 5. Yeah, and I believe that's where they were working on right then,
Yeah,
if I
that
remember.
sounds about the right time for it. Yeah.
2007, yes. Halo 3, yeah.
Mhm.
And I got to the point where there was no more episodes, and I'm like, well, this saddens me. So I go searching up Red vs. Blue on Google, and then sure enough, the first search result was roosterteeth.com. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. So I went on their website, read uh, read about them, and I'm like, well, this is cool. Why have I not heard about these guys before? And then I found out that they're just at the time a small company in Austin, Texas, and I'm like, huh, interesting. So then from there on out, I just continued watching their content. I expanded from Red versus Blue because I'm a very open person. I just wanted to see what else they had. Like they had some of their RT shorts at the time that they were slowly doing. I think at that time it was just the RT shorts and RVB.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure what else was around at that time. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't exactly remember the timeline because nowadays it's all there, so you can just watch it whenever. But
yeah. There's like 5 videos a day now.
yeah,
But yeah, and then the thing is though, I didn't sign up on the site until early last year. Yeah, it's been over a year now since I've been on the site. So I waited a little bit to join it because I don't think anyone wanted to talk to some bratty 12-year-old back in 2007. So I'm like, yeah, I'll wait to join the site. And yeah, that's how I discovered it for being bored one day looking for funny Halo videos.
cool. So, like, when you when you joined the site, what prompted you to join? Was it a case of, oh, I might jump in now, or was it you reattached yourself to Rooster Teeth and be like, oh, maybe they're doing things I like again, or was there like a big lull in period where you just like didn't get involved with anything, and then we're like,
Um,
oh, I'll just sign up on the site now and really explore what the community has to offer.
well, ever since I discovered them from 2007, I watched pretty religiously because those were the guys that I could relate to the most out of anyone on the internet. Still now. But the reason why I waited so long is because, well, like I said, I wanted to be a bit older until I joined the site, and um, how can I say? I was procrastinating. I'm really bad at procrastinating. I kept on telling myself I'll join the site, and then I just kept on putting it off. Um, but then for a while I was in, I don't know, down in the dumps for a long time, and I'm like, huh. And then I go like on the site sometimes just lurking, and I see people comment and all that stuff, and I'm like, well, this seems like a really good place to talk and like, be yourself. And at that time, I didn't really have anyone to talk to, besides the people I talked to at work, and besides after that when I leave, that's it, right? So I didn't really talk to anyone much back then. So on a whim, I'm like, well, I could join, and I mean, if I don't like it, I can always delete it because there's an option to delete your account. So I'm like, what the heck? Why not? I have nothing better else to do. So I joined the site, and it took me a while to get into the community. I say like it took me like 3 months to actually like diving into the forums and like commenting on people's stuff. But eventually I got into it, and then I met actually Shelby, RT Shelby on the site. I saw one of her journal posts, and I'm like, this chick is cool. So I comment, and I'm like, well, she probably won't reply back, and she did. And then from there, we just kept on talking, and then from there, because of her, I actually expanded more and like started talking to people, like a lot more people actually. So, and then not only that, because of that, her and I are now like best friends. I consider her as a sister. I know, really cheesy, but yeah. She was my first RT friend, and because of her, I thank her because without her, I don't think I would be where I am on the site today.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I mean that whole group of friends, like Shelby, Raph, and
Ash, yeah,
Ash and
I'm,
Carly and Remo and all of them, they welcomed me as well. So I'm like massively grateful to them that they were around
yeah,
because they're all so open and just great to chat to and play games with. And yeah, it's like
exactly.
it's really nice. Like especially like when I was joining the community, it was just I'd been away for a long time as well. So my account's like it's coming up to being 7 years old, but I haven't used it that much. Like I haven't
Yeah.
used it for 7 years. I've probably used it for 2.5 years.
Hmm.
But it's like yeah, one of those things. Just like oh, this is yeah, that group really drew me in, and we're like, yes, you're a person. Come do persony things.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's always great to like find a start with a group of people that are just like, yes, let's do things, which was awesome, and it sounds exactly the same for you, which
Oh yeah.
is wonderful.
I love it. Yeah.
Cool. So what have you been to any like local community meetups where you are, or is it mostly the people you talk to are just in the online space?
Actually, funny enough, um, as I continued diving into the site, I wanted to do more besides just commenting and interacting with the community members. I
Yeah.
wanted to do something more than that. So I looked up groups, right? And then I found a group called uh, RTO, which is Rooster Teeth, Ontario. That's
Yep.
where I'm
Mm-hmm.
in Ontario. And
Ah, cool.
I'm like, huh, I did not know there was a local meetup here where I live. But so I started reading on the group, but apparently they disbanded actually at the same time that I found them out. I'm like, well, this saddens me. But then, so I continued looking some more, and then I found another group called Toronto Unconventional. And funny enough, some of the people from RTO were doing this, and I'm like, huh, interesting. So I read about them, and apparently, um, they wanted to continue the tradition because RTO has or was going on ever since RBB ever existed. So like they were going on for 10 years,
Yeah. Hmm.
and then eventually everyone, they had families, and apparently they needed to, go on and do their own thing. Obviously, I believe Barbara actually talked about that at one point on the RT podcast a while back, since she's from Canada, and actually she lived close to Ontario. She was in Montreal, I believe. Anyways, besides the point, I'm rambling.
Hmm.
So I'm like, well, this seems like a perfect opportunity for me to do something more like what I wanted to do. Because at the time they were looking for applicants to actually join them and help them do this event. So on a whim again, I messaged one of the admins, and I was like, I would love to, help you guys out with whatever I can because I want to do more for this community. And they messaged me back and said, "Sure, why not? Come for this impromptu meeting that we're having, and we'll interview you and see how you do." And I'm like, "Cool." So I go down to the meeting. I was actually really nervous because like I didn't like know what to expect, and I never did something like this before.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, so I went through the interview, and then of course afterwards I'm like, crap, I could have said this, I could have done this, I could have done this better, what have you. I was kind of freaking out for a little bit, and then a week later they messaged me back and said I got the position, and I'm like, okay, awesome, thanks. So, um, I'm actually still a part of the group. So shout out to Toronto Conventional. They are amazing. Love them all so much. Also dear to me. Um, we actually just put on the first official Toronto Conventional event this past August, and it was amazing. I never been to a community event like that before, and being actually on the staff and crew for the event was different too because I always attended cons or events in general as a guest or like a person going to it there just to enjoy yourself, right? Not actually someone putting on the event.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
this was a different perspective for me, and I respect the hard work and dedication that goes into this because it is a lot of dedication um, to something like this. To put on an event like this, I believe we pulled in 100+ people for this event, which quite a lot for a community event, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome for a community event.
yeah, and
That's wicked.
it's a 3-day event as well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was cool. We got venues and all the stuff, everything, and it was great. And I'm continuing to do the same thing. I'm staying on with the staff and crew for Toronto Conventional, and hopefully I continue doing this for a long time because I love doing this, and just doing everything I can for the community just makes me happy because they gave me a lot, and I just want to give back.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I've seen you like in Shelby's stream. Like you're one of the chat mods there, and she gets quite a few
Yeah.
people coming along sometime, and it's just cool to just like interact. But like just knowing other people are around and they're like, yes, just as passionate for the community is really great. It's just like yeah,
Exactly.
so cool. Aside from that, I know that you're also one of the admins on the Spread the Love group, which I'm also an admin on. So
Yes.
that's another thing in common. Which day do you have, and what do you make news posts about?
I have Wednesdays, and it's what I post is a community highlight of the week. So I get to pick a community member of my choosing. How can I say? If I find someone that I think has been, well, spreading the love throughout the community for, a few weeks or like just in general, just spreading the love. And if I know them or not, I don't even need to know them. If I just see their posts randomly on the site and I find them to be positive and just overall, just a good person, I'll be like, why not? I'll feature you. And it's kind of hard sometimes because there are weeks where the site's kind of quiet and not a lot goes by.
Yeah,
So
like this weekend, aside from the extra live
right,
stream, there was
yeah.
nothing happening on the community side of things other than people going like, "Yay, yay, extra life's awesome and this community is amazing," but there was like no actual activity. It was really weird.
Yeah, exactly. So when that happens, I tend to pick someone from my friend group that I know personally because I do look through the site first before actually picking someone. Um, but most of the times I don't find anything that I think I can feature. Um, so I go on to my friends list and I'm like, who should I feature for this week? And most of the time I just pick at random because I don't want to pick favorites. Obviously, I don't ever like picking favorites. So yeah, and then I just write about them and why they are good to the community and why you should lay down a comment to them, talk to them because they're good people. And I link some of the journals or links that they post throughout the weeks, um, so other people can enjoy their content that they bring to RT.
Ah, cool. So let's step away from Rooster Teeth for a few minutes and
Sure.
just talk about what other things interest you. You say that you work and you've got other things to do, so I guess I'll start with what do you do for a job?
Um. Well, I am a grocery clerk at a very lousy grocery store.
Oh, okay.
And I've been working there for over 5 years now. 5 years too long. I'm trying to look for a new job because this job, like I said, is lousy, and to put it lightly. And yeah. Besides that, I don't really do much other, how can I say, work wise. Besides Toronto Conventional, which is not for profit, and that's not a hobby, but like more of a how can I say, something that I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Uh, and This job I have, it pays, right? But I mean, you should be able to work at a place that you enjoy to work instead of waking every morning and be like, oh, great, need to go back to this place again.
Yeah, because it just becomes just another day, and that can be
That yeah.
deflating at the best of times. So yeah, cool. So what other things are you a fan of? Are there any um, well, TV shows for starters, YouTube channels, musicians, things like that?
Um. Well, I'll start off with TV shows. Well, thing is, I don't watch TV at all. I used to watch TV a whole lot, but then YouTube and Netflix came around, and I'm like, I can watch so much better stuff on here instead of TV. So I don't watch TV anymore. So I watch all my content on like YouTube, and Netflix and other stuff like that. But there is one TV show that I do watch, not on TV actually, but funny enough, I watched online. Supernatural. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you post gifs of that all the time, everywhere. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. I don't know if this is actually a thing, but um on the site, I guess I'm the guy known as posting supernatural gifts all the time because when I joined the site, that was the first GIF I posted was a GIF of a supernatural show, and I'm like, and then I just continued doing that, and it just became a thing, and I'm like, huh, now I guess I have to keep this up. I enjoy it actually because I mean, on my profile, I have it saying I'm the king of supernatural gifts, and I know that's a little silly, but um, it actually goes hand in hand with my favorite character, Crowley, in the show. He's the king of hell. Spoilers if people haven't watched it or plan on watching it. Sorry. But
Nice.
yeah. So and it goes hand in hand with that, and I mean, it's my thing, I guess, on the site. I don't really see anyone else on the site that I know of, anyways, that does that. Um, so it's a thing. I enjoy it. I just keep up with it because I don't know. It's a thing. It's a hobby, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Besides Supernatural, I don't really watch many other TV shows. There's Legend of Korra and
Okay.
Avatar: The Last
Mhm.
Airbender. I am planning to watch books 3 soon. Um, there's what other shows do I watch?
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
TV shows.
yeah, I know nothing about TV right now. I know nothing about the state of it. The only thing I watch is Doctor Who, and that's only on like 10 weeks a year or something stupid like that. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, Doctor Who. Oh, and Sherlock are two
Oh,
other
and
shows
Sherlock. Yeah, can't forget
I
Sherlock.
want to watch. They're on my list of things to watch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animes on my list that I want to watch. I was heavily into anime a few years ago, and then I'm now just on and off with anime now. But there are a few animes I want to get back into, and new animes I want to get watching. I have a huge list for that. Um, and then YouTubers. Well, besides of course Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter.
Yeah. Nice.
There's Game Grumps. I
Yep, they
adore
are
those guys.
fantastic, aren't they?
I love them.
So good.
Actually been a fan of them since the very beginning when actually John was the co-host with Aaron.
Ah, fair enough. I actually haven't watched any of the ones with John Tron. I think I've only been onto them probably since
Damn.
about March this year,
Yeah.
since their Pokemon Fire Red playthrough. That was the
Yeah,
first one that I've watched.
I've actually a lot of people that I know are like that because just recently Game Grumps and RT have been friends because of Ray and Michael and Miles and the others because they watched them and then I guess they started talking with the Game Grumps and they actually came down to RTX this year, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there's Game Grumps, Philip DeFranco. Who else do I watch? There's Smosh, Nigahiga, um, Kev Jumba, but he never posts anymore.
Ah, well.
Just Make Me Bad 35. Um, Geez, there's a whole list of people that I watch. Oh, Tom Scott. Tom Scott, I love that guy.
Now, I keep seeing him around. Like, I saw him at MCM in Glasgow and recently this weekend in MCM in London. I see
Yeah,
him with these ridiculous lines, and I just have no idea like what he does or anything. And everyone's like, "Oh, you've got to go and see it." It was like, I don't even know who he is. I don't even know what he does. So maybe I should check him out. But I'm
yeah,
just like, yeah.
he's pretty hilarious. He's an animator,
Mm-hmm.
right? He goes way back actually. Actually, and there's Ed's World, which is something that he's a part of. That there's a huge story behind that altogether. There's Angry Video Game Nerd, Brizzy Voices, Anna Kana, Ray William Johnson, um, Nettie Scribble, a lot of people that I watch. Oh, and the Slow Mo guys and Eagle Raptor
Oh
and
yeah,
all those.
yeah.
Yeah.
All those. Ah, cool. Right. I think we've reached the point where it is kind of time to get you to ask me a question.
Awesome.
What
Okay.
is the question? And let's see if I can answer it well.
Um. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Um. Geez. What should I ask you? I guess. Huh. What? I guess something simple. What superpower would you want? Why?
Okay.
Unless
So
has already been asked.
I don't know if it's already been asked. I don't think it has. I think there was. I think Sam asked me if I could have what superpower could I have? Should I? But it has to be accompanied by a super weakness. And I was just like, oh well. But I don't think I actually answered that properly anyway. So yeah. The
All right.
superpower I would have would be teleportation, just because it's flipping amazing, and I could just do so many things. And what was I going to say? Yeah, Nightcrawler is probably my favorite X-Men.
Nightcrawler, yeah, I
Yeah,
love him.
and like my adoration for martial arts kind of ties in with his ability to teleport as well. So
Of
I
course.
find it just fascinating to watch anything with Nightcrawler in, as well as his demon father Azael, I think, and
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just so
yeah.
good. I'm just like, oh, just so good. And he's just like sword around, and but
I
Nightcrawler
see.
has a tail, and he uses that too. And yeah, I just like love all the short, frantic teleports and all the combat like associated with that. But I probably wouldn't even use it for that. I'd just like use it for personal gain rather than like using it to be a superhero. But then
Yeah,
again, it depends on what other conditions it comes with. But yeah, teleportation would be my superpower, and that's because I think teleportation is amazing, and it could just help me be like, yes, oh, I need to be there, done. Save so much time
exactly.
on traveling and everything.
I know, right? So much money that you can save.
So much more sleeping I could do.
That too.
Cool. Well, Neal, thank you very much for being my guest.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
And with that, thank you very much. Listen. Oh wait a second. I forgot. Promote yourself away. Do you have like Twitter? What's your Rooster Teeth name, and anywhere else we can find you on the internet?
Okay.
Should you want to
Well,
share, that is.
my RT account is of course Neal McNeal. Um, Neal McNeal is pretty much mostly where you can find me anywhere. Besides my RT's profile, there is my Twitter, which is hold on, I don't even know the blah 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 at real Neal McNeal. So it's Neal McNeal just with real at the beginning because Neal McNeal was already taken, which I am upset about. But anyways, besides Twitter and Rooster Teeth, I do have a YouTube and a Twitch account, but I don't use them. I don't have anything on them at all. I do have plans later down in the future, sometime, for them, but right now they're empty.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough. Well, like I said before, thank you very much for being my guest.
no problem.
And
Awesome.
thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.